Hey everyone, finished watching the next VR Troopers episode, The Rise of the Red Python Part 2, the last episode of Season 1. And it's not a very good episode. Caitlin is still stuck in her trooper form from last episode, she's still unconscious. Grimlord decides to target JB next. At Hart's lab, JB finds out, based on scans, that the Red Python is human. In regards to Caitlin, Ryan knows who might be able to help fix the thingamajig that they need to return her to normal. Dr. Poindexter. And funnily, there's a little line Ryan has, I know someone who'll help us, no questions asked. Yeah, because you can erase his memory like you did last time. So, Ryan takes the thing to Dr. Poindexter while JB goes to fight Red Python, who shows up again. Airstriker follows Ryan and sends Skugs after him, and this is kind of a cool scene. Ryan sees a car coming up behind him, and then the car itself turns into a bunch of Skugs. That's different. So JB's fighting with Red Python, and she starts to glow red and grow weaker. She's teleported back to Grimlord. Ryan fights off the Skugs and makes it to Dr. Poindexter, and Poindexter is like, oh, I have a replacement for the thing. That was so simple, it made me wonder, what was even the point of bringing Poindexter back? He doesn't do anything. At Tau Dojo, Jeb fools around, playing CDs, puts on sunglasses, dances on stuff, plays computer games. Okay. And then Amy comes in, having de-transformed from Red Python, and collapses in front of Jeb. Jeb calls up the troopers and tells them what happened. The troopers are just about to leave Hart's lab when suddenly JB's like, wait, oh yeah, and also, Caitlin's fine. They gave her the thingamajig and she's okay. JB points to the computer readout thing and it shows who the human part of Red Python is. It's Amy! Yeah. This episode is a lot of very quick resolutions. It feels like the first episode, they had all these big ideas for like all these obstacles and conflicts, but then this one they were just completely out of ideas, and they were like, this is solved, this is solved. Everything's just solved way too easy. At the dojo, this is the best scene in the episode. Jeb is watching Amy. He has a little nurse hat on, and he says, "Don't worry, Amy, I've been to the vet a few times." Okay, that part's pretty funny. It's not an important scene that adds up to anything, but it's the best scene in the episode. Amy wakes up, he smashes some stuff and leaves, and then, just as the troopers get there, just missing her, a paper prints out. It's a message from Professor Hart warning them that Amy's in danger. If she transforms again, she's unstable and could self-destruct. Grimlord sends out his forces to separate Ryan and JB and Caitlin, I guess. JB tries to get through to Amy while Ryan and Caitlin take on the other monsters. And then Amy de-transforms and she's totally fine. The troopers take her to Hart's lab and Hart does something and she's normal. Alright. Amy then earns an orange belt at Tau Dojo, and this story is happy end. As an average episode, as a conclusion to a two-parter, and as a season finale, this episode is very meh. Everything just gets resolved way too easily. What isn't just handed to the troopers is solved by computers. Ryan gets a replacement part from Poindexter. On the plus side, he doesn't have his memory erased this time. JB's scans at Hart's lab resolve most of the conflicts. The visuals in this episode are good. There's some cool effects. The Metal Heroes stuff is cool. Red Python's a cool-looking character, but it just doesn't really amount to anything. The most interesting thing here is Jeb. And I'm not even sure if his stuff was originally part of this episode. There's some really odd continuity between scenes with Jeb. So, Tau's at the dojo, he's sorting out some jars of tea leaves, I think. And he leaves Jeb alone, and when Tau leaves, Jeb is like, oh, cool, and he puts on a CD, dances around, and does all the funny stuff. And then Amy comes in, and suddenly Jeb is back sitting on the chair that he was sitting on when Tau left. Huh. And then when Amy collapses, and he calls the troopers, let's see, the troopers head to the dojo, and Jeb goes over to Amy, and he's wearing the little nurse hat. But then when the troopers come in... Oh, wait, no, it's when Amy wakes up, Jeb's back sitting on the chair. That same chair. And it kind of looks like the goofy stuff with Jeb wasn't there. Him putting on the CD and partying, that wasn't originally there. Him with the nurse hat wasn't originally there. It's like the episode was running a little bit short, so they decided to add in a couple of funny scenes with Jeb. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but, possible. Once again, almost no side characters make an appearance. I mean, not the usuals. Tao gets one tiny little scene. The mayor never shows up. So yeah, he just got mentioned in the last episode, just 'cause. Dr. Poindexter, the weird thing with Tao and Poindexter, they're both in this episode, but their scenes are so short, it makes me wonder what was even the point. With Tao, I'm guessing there was probably, like, a set amount of appearances he had to make, like contractually obligated or something. With Poindexter, I have no idea why they brought him back. He was pointless here. They could have just fixed the thingamajig at Hart's lab. It wouldn't have affected the plot any differently. The other thing with Poindexter, because they do have him show up again in the season twice, I'm wondering, were they setting him up to be a bigger character in Season 2? Maybe. I'll be watching Season 2 pretty soon. As a finale to this season, it ends really weird. Ryan doesn't find his father. It kind of ends like any other episode. This did not feel like a big ending. Now, the first part felt like the setup to a big ending, but it really wasn't at all. So I'm wondering, did the production crew even know if they were getting another season? Like, I imagine they did, but if they didn't, VR Troopers would have ended on a cliffhanger. But yeah, they got a second season, so 40 more episodes. Surely it won't end on a cliffhanger with that many more episodes, right? So yeah, that's it for this one. This is a pretty dull episode, so see ya.
Okay now, seen enough at the vet to pick up a thing or two. No need to panic.